Alright, it's Tuesday. I don't know if this is going to be a good Tuesday or not because there's very few announcements for them to make. The only cards that they are revealing is promos from shop tournaments, and they're doing a bunch of anime information. I think they have like the director of the anime coming on today. And Amanesu just came back from Korea, I think, like yesterday or this morning or something. She was in Korea for like, I think almost a week, doing like a fan meeting and all kinds of stuff. Alright, here's a report of the Tokyo venue. So WGP Tokyo, which I went to as well. So there's a total of 391 teams participating in the main event. And on top of that, there were a lot of other people that were just there to buy merch or play in the side events. So this was a really cool side event that you see here at the bottom left, where you could like either knock down pins or shoot targets, and you would either win like these exclusive playmats that they give out at those like monthly events, like the one of like the Bastion and Toya we saw recently, or like the Sophie one. But if you missed, if you didn't get any points, you would get free power counters. So you could get a full handful of these power counters, as many as you can grab basically. So I also got like 9 packs of these. So the thing is, I didn't want any of the playmats because all the good ones were already gone by the time I went. So I literally missed on purpose just to get like a handful of power counters. I literally lost on purpose just so I could get power counters. So I was like, I can use this for videos. But you can see here the winning team from the A block was Ryo's team. So of course, Ryo, one of the most famous Japanese players ever. He's been topping and doing great for a very long time, and he managed to get his invitation. It's very cool. And then B block was won by Yuidango-san, Ahyahi, and one other person. Alright, so here's the meta distribution for the participation rates for the Tokyo Deluxe. So you can see Youthbird was most used at 14%, so just barely over Jeweled, which was the second most used at 13%. Then Leonorn was the third after that, used at 8%. So that is the triple rare Leonorn. So some people of course use the trial deck Leonorn in the right deck too. After that is Maigo. So you can see here, not sure why they don't show it because it's a Bushiroad property, but you know, it is what it is. But Maigo was at 8%, I was one of them. Bastion Accord also at 6% here, next to that. And then we have Jiva here, with pretty high usage rate actually, 5% Jivas. Then Sharumoto came out the day before, 4%. Orpheus Regis still kicking, of course, at 4% as well. And Labrador also came out the day before at 3%. And of course we have Chronojet here at 3% as well. And everything else was at 32%. When are we nerfing everything else? What is Maigo deck again? It's my deck. It's the deck I play. Is Maigo budget? Yep, it's like 40 bucks for the, like, I guess 30 bucks post-conversion. $30 for a tier 1 deck. It's pretty insane. Alright, so this was Ryo's Maigo list. So to give you an explanation of what this deck does. Sorry, that's not what I meant to move. So of course, the main Vanguard lets you search for the orders, which all do different things, as well as Soul Blast 1 to call 2 cards from your bind zone. This card, CB1 top 5 to call a Maigo, and after she attacks, she binds herself to draw 1. Then this one is when she stands by an effect, she gains a drive check, and when she attacks, she gets 5k for the turn. So if you stand her, she gains 5k twice. This one gives 5k to any unit, including herself, and when she boosts a Maigo, you battle door your opponent. So if you stand her, you can battle door your opponent twice in one turn. She's a 10k shield, which is like, and she dodges guard restricts because she puts herself to bind zone from hand or rear to become a 10k shield. This is a soul, like, draw card, basically. And then the orders are, this one calls out her. You just do that on turn 1. This one says when your Vanguard attacks, you stand one of your rears. And if your opponent's Vanguard's on grade 3 or greater, then you stand a column instead. So that activates your, like, you know, your drive checks and all that stuff. And this one says at the end of the battle, your Vanguard attacked. If you have all the members of Maigo on your field, you ditch one, stand all your rears, and if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, you give them all 5k. So it's really good because you swing for insane numbers. Now Morphonica is a bit different. This was run by Masaru, who He's been playing the game from the very start, and he finally qualified for nationals after 10 plus years of playing the game. So Maigo is a very aggressive deck, whereas Morphonica is a lot more of a mid-rangey kind of like balanced deck where they kind of build up their board a bit slower, but they're able to redirect attacks. And also, the Vanguard is just a restanding Vanguard with Battledore that attacks twice. So basically, it's very strong. You have huge power, order recycling, so you don't need to play a lot of the orders because you cycle them from your drop zone back to your hand. You have huge, strong attackers as well, and just overall, it's a more mid-rangey, like long-term game-focused deck, and it's really strong against these decks that drive check with their rears because you can redirect those rear attacks to your own rear guards instead of the Vanguard. So it's like Bastion stands a rear and drive checks with it, don't care. Maigo does that, don't care. It's like Herminia does it, don't care. So that's what makes Morphonica really good. And finally, of course, we have Youthberg, what is considered to be, so this is the B block winner, considered to be one of the best decks. I think this and Jeweled kind of share the tops together. So of course, Youthberg, this is like the Youthberg list where you run the 4 Full Blast, 2 Tempest, 2 Gust, 1 Zest, and then you have 4 of the like searchers. So the grade 1, of course, when ditched or crawl from deck, you get to search your deck for a Revolve form, add it to hand, and then put a card from hand to soul. So you can search your Full Blast if you don't have it, but usually you like first search out your Zest, put it to soul so it's out the way so you can damage it. And then after that, you search out the other 2 forms and then make sure you have Full Blast in hand. And then this basically is used just to Soul Blast 1, search for a Revolve form. And then if you already have all 3 of the different Revolve forms in your soul, you can Soul Blast a non-Revolve form card in order to draw a card. So you have to be careful because you Soul Blast 1 for the Youth start, like grade 1, of course. So you have to be careful what you use your soul on. And then, of course, after you Soul Blast out your Ride Line cards, you get to use the Carbuncle in order to Superior Call more stuff and set up a bigger board. Which is, yeah, I mean, this is the cookie cutter build. And of course, the big winner from Lyrical set 4 is the Sharmoto, so definitely be prepared for this. Good deck, and this is kind of like what the list typically looks like. Runs 4 copies of the Resius. Make sure you have 4 because she went up in price like crazy. And everything else basically is related to what the deck wants to do. Some people play less of this grade 3, some people don't play the Ghost Cycler. But basically what this deck wants to do is you basically have, you make the Vanguard 33k, and then she spreads her 33k to the other rear guards, and also enables one of your, like the rear guards behind the Vanguard to drive check. And you don't stop at 33, you can go beyond that. Like once in playtesting, my opponent reached 73, so then it was like 73 plus like 93k columns on the rears. So it's pretty painful. And because you're hitting for such big numbers, I mean, might as well make them hit even more times with the red OT. So that just kind of works out as well. And yeah, this is very much like Grand Gallop became an idol. So it kind of is DP-esque mechanics. It's much more the Grand Gallop side. So yeah, it's a good deck. And it's like, you basically build the whole thing from this set too, which is impressive. And then finally, Trading Tools was also used by Yante, with, I believe, is the 3rd person on the team here. Alright, so the day after WGP Tokyo, it was WGP Hiroshima. You can see Mount Takumi in his Kamen Rider outfit, very cool. But so, there were still 77 teams that participated, so Hiroshima's pretty far away from Tokyo, so some people went all the way from Tokyo, including Mount Takumi and Nak actually. They went all the way from Tokyo immediately to Hiroshima. But what's really cool is that the winning team was Nakamura Japan. So it's really cool because Seishiro is one of the winners. He ran Jeweled, and he is the very first ever he was the first ever Japanese national champion from way back in 2012, or second, I guess, second 2011 was the first national champion. But so he's an OG and managed to get his qualification. We were actually talking about teaming up for one of the WGPs, but you know, he got his qualification, so I guess not this time. But I'm excited to finally meet him. What's crazy is that he's one of those like OG players that Toya used to write about on the Cardfight Pro blog. So that's like how far back this goes. He has an article about him on Cardfight Pro. That's how much of an OG he is. If you know, you know. Oh, there we go. We got the pie chart as well for this one. So it looks like the patterns are the same. So Youthberg is the most used deck at 16%. Technically cheaper than Jejuled, so maybe that's why. Jejuled is 12%. Then we have Maigo at 11%. So Maigo shares going up. Sharamoto at 7% here. Leonorn at 6%. Jiva at 5%. Orphis at 5%. Labrador still hanging in there at 3%. And then we have, of course, everyone's favorite Bugs. It is Mushking at 3%. And finally Herminia at 2% as well. Chilling. Gandiv Extinct. It actually got a top last weekend. And everything else is at 30%. Damn, everything else strong as always. Alright, so this is Seishiro's Jejuled. So he actually ran the trial deck Jejuled in the ride line just to abuse diversity cut to make sure they get the top cut slot. And so you can see it's a pretty normal list. Running 4 of the Cycler, 4 Ignis, 2 Ristal Galer, 2 of the Zagan, I think 3 Zagans. I think I prefer 4. I really think this card is amazing, and like when I don't see it in games, I feel a lot worse about it. 4 Rakagur, 4 of the Restander guy, 4 of the Searcher, Blue OT, and then of course, Forbidal. So, and that's right, I got the Afterglow crits. We like them, we like them. Is that the TD Dragon? I mean TD Jejuled? Yes, it is a TD Jejuled. Alright, let's see. Aichi, oh my god, he has... Aichi's using Youthberg, and we can see here the only difference is which is your least favorite color between green, blue, and red. Your least favorite color will be the one you play as a 1 of, and then the colors you like you'll play as 2 ofs. Why trial deck Jejuled? For diversity cut. Youthberg Blado. Aichi's Edgelord arc. He's an old man now. He's no longer a happy protagonist. He's an old man. He just wants to get easy wins. Playing Youthberg. Overwhelm the opponent. Youthberg's strong. It just really sucks when you brick with it. Or you don't get your 3, you know. You don't get your 3 dudes set up in the soul. And then finally, Suno, the third teammate, ran this very kind of like template list for Sharamoto. Alright, they called him Nabepi. What the Nabe producer? Alright, the producer's here to talk about the anime. I expect nothing. He's in his drip as usual, his cool suit. He's really young. I always think this whenever I see the producer. He looks really young. Alright, so he's gonna tell us about the 6th season of the D-Series anime. Take a look at this. It's gonna be called Vanguard DivineZ. Vanguard DivineZ. Z. Uh-oh. I don't like Vanguard anime seasons that have the letter Z in them. We don't like the letter Z, bro. DZ. It's just like my good friend Daoi Zhu, bro. It's these nuts. Oh my god, it's Vanguard D's. Alright, so he's saying that the anime itself will start in January. And all the news, all the information regarding it will be on the 12th of December. So in just a little bit under 2 months. The protagonist, Derek Zhao. At least the name is better than Overdress. That's true, yeah. DivineZ sounds pretty cool. Whoa! This is the new protagonist. Alright, so starting from this series, there will be a new protagonist. As they said, Yu story has wrapped up. So for the 6th D-Series anime season, it will be a new protagonist. They do not write his name. It just says new protagonist, Shin Shujinko. Ooh, okay, so there's actually connections to the D2 manga, or like the Will Dress 2 manga that is currently releasing. So if you read the manga, you might get a hint towards what's going to be in this anime season. Yeah, the deluxe. Oh. He said maybe those characters will be back too. Gandiva protagonist? Jimmy? Alright, so he's like, I wonder what nation these new characters will be using. So everything will be known in December. Okay. Okay, they actually showed a little bit. This is more than I expected. I didn't think they would show us any characters, any nothing. Like, I thought they would say the name and that's it. Done. Alright, so please look forward to the December announcements, where you will get a lot of information for the next anime series. Because this time, for the Bushiroad strategy presentation, Vanguard gets its own day for all of the announcements. So there'll be a lot of news. Alright, so once again, a reminder. Well, ooh, this is pretty huge. So they're saying, well, previously, we confirmed that there are gonna be at least 9 anime seasons of the D era. It says at the top right here, we also have plans have already begun for season 10 and beyond. So like, please don't worry. So they're saying, please don't worry. The D era will continue on. There will be nothing where you will not be able to use your cards from the Overdress or Roll Dress series. So, of course, it's a bit painful that they have to say this. It's painful that they have to say that there is no rotation, that there is no, you know, there is no reboot. No R word, that's right, no R word. Even just from what has already been planned, they already have things planned out beyond 2026. So it's pretty impressive. Again, it's a little bit sad that they have to keep reminding everyone. It's like, don't worry, no reboot, don't worry, no rotation, don't worry, you can still use your cards. But that's pretty crazy. The fact that that little added tidbit that we're going beyond season 10 is pretty huge. I'm glad I stayed home and streamed today. This was indeed an important stream. V promos, V and premium promos, here we go. So these are Narukami and Pale Moon. These are big ones. These are big ones. Alright. Narukami one is Dragon Dancer Madeline. She says once per turn when she's boosted and attacks the Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1 to choose a column. So you bind your opponent's front row or rear guard of that column, so it doesn't target. And and then you choose the back row rear guard of that opponent's column and move it to any empty front row rear guard circle of your opponent. So it's kind of like the old V-Series Narukami. So it's a removal, it's a non-target bind, plus a move it up so I can bind it again. And then, of course, it's the usual right fixer effect. They both have it in hand. You ditch it to look at top 5 if you're in grade 1 or lower. For grade 2 or lower, and add it to your hand. Literally worse Chowo in like 3 ways, but Chowo doesn't fix your ride. Yeah, maybe she's a little mid. Kinda was hoping for a tiny bit more. But anyway, Pale Moon one, this is where things might get crazy. So this one says, once per turn when it's boosted and attacks, it doesn't have to attack the Vanguard. Catalyst 1, Soul Charge 1, and choose from your soul a different named unit card from this unit and call it to rear. Sounds good, it's generic. It's generic, just call anything while soul charging. Sounds pretty good, no generation break on it. We like it. Alright, they're going to reveal 3 promo packs. 3 promo cards from the next promo pack. The first one is an Olden PR. Whoa. Mr. Olden, what are you doing? Mr. Olden. This is Surias. He's a grade 0 with 6k power. Hello. Oh, I guess he's like a different grade, right? So during your turn, if you have an Olden Vanguard, he gets plus 2k power, so he's an 8k, just like all the grade 1s. And Regress will go once per turn when your other unit with Olden in its name... Oh, sorry. When your other unit is placed on Rear Circle by your Olden Vanguard's ability, you can counterblast 1 and choose a rear guard and stand it. Hold up. Hold up. That's a CAC. 5 attacks. Olden can do 5 attacks now. It's a CAC. Hello, CAC. Magnolia Masks. Whoa. Continuous. If your Vanguard is Magnolia Masks, this unit gains the following abilities. When placed on rearguard circle, Soul Blast 1 for that turn gain plus 5k. If this turn you have not countercharge 1. And when this card... rearguard circle and guardian circle. This card can intercept from the back row, and for each of your Dragon Tree markers gains plus 5k shield. That's huge, because you usually have 3 Dragon Tree markers, so that's a 20k shield, 15k attacker that countercharges. That's another cack. Okay, we're cacking everywhere. I'm cacking on the floor. That's insane. Elden becoming Dubden. That's right. Alden PR dies of cringe. What does cack mean? Create a card. It means create a card, which means like it's an original card. They call them orika in Japanese, so it's like original card, like fan-made card. It's like Goku. I made a Goku Vanguard. Oh god. Kushami Hanami ni gochūi wo. Oh my god, this is the best name ever. Please watch out for sneezing fireworks. The name of this order is Please Watch Out for Sneezing Fireworks. So this is a cannonball order. It's a grade 2. Karawasu 1 to play it. It's a set order. When this is placed in the order zone, you draw 1. And in the order zone, if you have a grade 3 or greater Michu Vanguard, you may send this to the drop, choose a unit, give it plus 10k power. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, that unit cannot intercept and cannot stand. Damn, Michu just sneezes at the rear guard and just gets paralyzed. Kind of based. Kinda based. This Thursday, they're gonna be showing the next 3 promos from this same promo pack, and Youthquake Volume 3 promo. Every single time that they've released a Youthquake promo, it's been busted. First, it was Assembler for Brankgate. Second, it was freaking Misty Arc Habitat. What's gonna come third? But yeah, so they're gonna reveal 3 new promo cards for the October promo pack, as well as 3 reprint promo cards. And there will be a promo that is related to Stride. Will it be Jet or will it be Messiah? We shall see. And starting from next week, we will get the Stride deck set Shiranui reveals. So next week they will reveal the Ride Line, the Crest, and a G unit. And of course, they will also explain how Dominate works as well with its big return to the standard format. Surprisingly, info-filled stream. I didn't expect to have this much in the stream today, but they surpassed my expectations, and that is very good. So excited. Let me know what you think about the new anime series from the little that we know about it, and of course the relief of there being more of it, and of course what you think about these promos and your expectations for Shiranui next week as well. It's pretty exciting.